sit back in the seat. Cool. Okay. So reason number one, why, by the way, if you don't know what happened, if you're catching this later on just audio, we hit a little pothole and my daughter went flying forward in the wagon and we had to stop and fix that. So now that we fixed it, I've left you sitting on the edge of your seat for a long time, right? The number one reason that you're stuck is that you're focusing on the physical. Anything having to do with your physical circumstance, your physical way of being. And so for a lot of us, this is easy to get stuck on, or focus on rather, because we are in our own body all the time. We are physical. We are our body. So of course, that's where we focus first and foremost. But what you need to understand, and if you've never heard this before, you are gonna be blown away. What you need to understand is that there are 8 components to your wellness. And wellness, like health is where you are right now. Health is your state of being. Health is, are you sick or not? Are you having a good day or a bad day? It's temporary. Wellness is that continuum of different things that we need to focus on all the time to be in a state of health. So to have a good day, to have a good feeling, to feel like we're making progress, all of these 8 components need to be satisfied at any given time. And those 8 components are, the first one, I have to hold my notes here. The first one is social. So our social wellness, meaning our connection with others. And there's been so much research on perceived stress levels, especially, and our connection with others. Did you know that simply connecting with others, and not just, we can use social media to drive this, but not just tapping like and commenting, but interacting with lives kind of stimulates this as well. But it produces oxytocin, which is a feel-good hormone in the body, and actually makes us physically feel better, but it's on a social level. Occupational wellness, and this doesn't necessarily have to be a formal job, where you're spending your time, maybe hobbies, commitments, it could be groups, anything like that, where you're spending your time. And this is self-explanatory, really. Are you spending your time in a place that makes you happy? Because of course that's going to make you happy. Emotional wellness. Think about mental health for this category. Are you dealing with anxiety or depression? I know after I had my daughter, it was considered a mild case of postpartum depression, but being in the middle of it, nothing felt mild about it. And it wasn't until I plugged in to some solid and consistent coaching that I really saw a change. And of course, y'all, I used meds too, never shaming meds, but you need to have that connection. It's a 3-pronged approach to anything mental health. You've got to have the physical part of it, the physical activity, medication, and then of course, some type of counseling or therapy. And as that progresses, moving into things like coaching and personal development. So then our 4th component of wellness has to do with environmental wellness, not just the huge world picture, like where you're spending your energy when it comes to the whole 3 R's, right? Reduce, reuse, recycle, or sustainability is a big word right now. But just your daily environment, like what is your home life like? And simple, like, are you as organized as you want to be? I know I'm not always like that, but I have, strategies and plans in place that help me keep my home in a way that doesn't stress me out. Intellectual wellness. So I'm still going through this. We're on number 5. Intellectual wellness is a component that I think sometimes we undervalue because it's stimulated so much when we're younger. I used to teach college students, and I'm telling you what, really didn't need to challenge their intellectual wellness, but especially as we get older and as we get set in routines, what are we doing to keep our mind fresh? And I don't mean older like in our almost 100 in a nursing home. I don't mean that. I mean older in a sense that we have a life that's pretty consistent and the same every day. So we're not being stimulated to think outside of that, to challenge ourselves, to change up our routine. Number 6, financial wellness. I've got to get this wagon going behind me. It could be as simple as just budgeting, or more complex, like trying to drop into a better spending zone. Debt, dealing with debt. And I hate to say like 100% debt free, because I know a lot of people who are in business for themselves and they operate within debt that is feasible. But when we're talking about, I mentioned earlier, I do a lot of faith-based coachings and training. Where are you doing some of your giving, like tithings and your alms, things like that? Where's that happening, and who's receiving on the receiving end of that? Spiritual wellness. This looks different for everybody. Number 7. I think getting sweaty. For a lot of my mentees, it looks like their walk with God, because they are Christian and they're plugging into my mentor services because they are faith-based. So it looks like their walk with God. It looks like getting up in the morning, spending some quiet time in the Bible or in meditation. And even if that's not your thing, getting up and being quiet and plugging into stillness can still be hugely beneficial on a spiritual level. Spiritual does not have to equate religion. In fact, coming from a Christian perspective, the religious people, that's not where Jesus spent his time when he was on earth. It really wasn't. So it's more about your relationship and your walk in daily life. And then component number 8 is physical. Remember, you're like, but you said we're not supposed to be focusing on physical if we're trying to get unstuck. True, but there's still a physical component, and we have to make sure we know what pillars are in that physical component to know if we're even doing that well. So the first 2 parts of physical wellness probably won't surprise you. Diet, right? Nutrition. And I don't mean on a diet, I mean your diet, what you eat every day. And physical activity. So simple recommendation is accrue 150 minutes a week of moderate physical activity. Going on a walk every day for 5 days a week, that's going to do it for me. Then the last 2, sleep. Nobody wants to hear this one. They want to ignore it. But are you getting, at least 6, better yet 8 hours of sleep a night, of quality sleep? Not just how much, but how good. And then the last one in physical is your perceived stress level. And there's a very specific reason I say perceived stress, because it's not about what happens to you, it's how you frame it. So are we really considering those? And y'all, I know it seems like a lot now that you know that you need to focus on 8 different things every single day. But I teach a technique called affirmations that helps pull all of this together. And we're going to talk more about that as we go through the rest of our episodes on getting unstuck. But for today, I just want you to go through that list. Maybe you need to re-listen and write them down. Kind of identify which ones you're really struggling with today, which ones you need to put forth a little more energy into making a priority. And then, wherever you're hearing this, I just want you to comment and let me know which one or ones you could really benefit from spending some time focusing on. So let me know, and I look forward to getting our next episode in. If you're catching me live on Facebook with these, tomorrow we'll have episode 3 of Getting Unstuck. Remember, you can always get more information about me and my coaching, my mentoring at GretchenGegg.com. So I'll see you next time.